Welcome to the Hustle Factory Podcast Show.
All we do is hustle.
And here's your host, John Lindemus.
He's kind of a big deal.
Bringing you amazing insights and views of entrepreneurship on today's society.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John, and here's another new episode of the Hustle Factory Podcast Show. How's everyone doing today or tonight, depending on what time you are listening to this episode or what time zone you are in? Hope everyone is having an amazing, productive day so far. So, as I promised from the previous episode, I got another amazing content for me to discuss and rant about. Do you or know someone who just constantly worry fucking too much about what other people think of you or them? Sounds familiar, right? Well, it's no surprise at all, since this is pretty much the standardized culture in today's society we live on today. It's actually pretty sad if you ask me. I'm just so fucking shocked as hell on how much people worry so fucking much on what others think of you. Every single one of us has the huge desire to be liked and appreciated for their tremendous talents, our voracious intelligence, and not to mention our unique personality. Although when we start to rely on what other people think of us, and we make their opinions completely irrelevant to our success, then it gets in trouble. Then we start adapting our lives to fit their own expectations, and from there, it's a fucking vicious cycle. So, let's hop on in today's episode where I will be discussing 14 different ways or tips you can use to stop yourself worrying what others think of you. So let's get it started. Here's the first way you can eliminate this terrible habit, and that is to start focusing on what really matters. When you concentrate on what's truly important, you think less about your own individual role and more about the bigger picture. In other words, it takes a huge glare of people's spotlight off you individually. Pretty straightforward, right? Here's another tip you should know, like the majority of people don't really pay much attention. In other words, people just don't give a shit about you but themselves. In addition, people tend to invest more time thinking about themselves than thinking about others. Although, if they are expressing an opinion about you, then it is 100% for sure that they haven't even given a single fucking thought about it. Just nothing but an empty, irrelevant thoughts about you. For the third tip, it's one of those where individuals fail to fucking understand sometimes, and that's overthinking too fucking much. Honestly, this drives me fucking insane because this is not so difficult to comprehend, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's really not. Or is it because they refuse to comprehend it at all? Anyways, another individual's opinion is often based on your beliefs and behavior, but on theirs. Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. Like, do you remember your parents' perspective about the good life? Or perhaps your teacher's perspective about success in school? Whomever perspective it is, you get the point, guys. The point is, whatever is good for them may be fucking terrible for you, or vice versa. Lastly, be who you want to be from your own perspective. Period. Does this scenario look familiar to you guys? Your parents tell you all the damn fucking time that you should pursue this instead of you're passionate about. Or perhaps your so-called circle of friends telling you just do that because it'll be much easier for you, or they prefer that way. Whatever it is, it's fucking endless, and I can go all day long ranting about this. You need to remember only one thing about achieving your dreams and goals. Nobody else is living your life. Not your parents, your loser friends, teachers, and as a matter of fact, everyone except yourself. Just know that they might have an endless irrelevant opinions and ideas about you, but the only one who knows what's best for you is you. Just you. That's it. Let's get it going to the fifth tip to completely eliminate this habit, and that is to simply mind your own fucking business. Basically, stop asking people what they think of you and stop fucking worrying about their irrelevant opinions, especially if they are simply ignorant, unsuccessful, and unhappy. Because most of the time, negative feedback is mainly coming from negative people. So stay away from them. That's just pure straight facts, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question, guys. Are you too fucking sensitive for your own good? And too fucking sensitive, I mean, do you get triggered so easily when people say some things about you which you know aren't even true at all? Thing is, it's so fucking easy for sensitive people to blow out of proportion. Yet try to build that strong-willed mentality that lets you shake it off and even say, who gives a fuck? With that being said, that will be the sixth way for you to eliminate this habit, and that is to decrease your triggers. Well, we got a long way to go to the last tip I would like to address, but why don't I go ahead and talk about the seventh tip for you to eliminate this habit, and that is to stop fucking overthinking. I mean, wow. I'm simply amazed by the amount of people out there who just overthink every single fucking thing. It really does fucking amaze me at all the damn time. Like, seriously. Did you know that overthinking too much can actually lead you to think you're being judged, even though that's not the case, and even if it doesn't, it can't be your impending downfall in your own way. So, a quick solution to this is to simply learn to recognize overthinking and instead start developing some positive thoughts. Here we go to the eighth tip you can utilize to eliminate the habit of worrying too much on what others think of you, and that is to seek some constructive feedback. Well, for the most part, you always want to seek out some few constructive feedback or opinion from people you 100% trust and simply forget the rest. Pick the people who truly know how to give an amazing, inspirational, constructive, and specific feedback that will help you improve better in the long run, which eventually leads to your upcoming success. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. So far, we're on track for this episode. Well, that's fucking good. To the ninth tip, I would like to share with you guys in order for you to stop worrying what others think of you is to simply stop fucking trying to please everyone. This is another thing that the majority of people just seem to do all the fucking time. And I am simply fucking amazed on the huge amount of people always doing this, and they simply never comprehend the reason to stop doing this crap in the first place. Well, we got 4 more tips left for me to discuss before I wrap up this episode. For the 10th tip I would like to share with you guys is that know that opinions are always changing no matter fucking what. You always need to keep in mind that opinions never stay the same and they are always constantly changing. So make sure to never allow these ridiculous opinions of others to get too deep because they can change at any moment. Point is, if you invest fucking too much in these opinions, then it will definitely leave you to the point where a person's mind changes about you. Let's get it on to the 11th tip I would like to share with you, and that is sow what you want to reap. Now, this might kind of sound familiar to some of you guys, and it is. If you're a devoted Christian or someone reads the Bible, then you'll definitely get the point of this tip. Basically, life is like an echo, meaning whatever you do or send out literally comes back. So, worrying too much to what other people's opinions of you will actually become a self-fulfilling prophecy that will eventually take over your behavior thoughts. And that's something you don't want to happen to you, ladies and gentlemen. Almost fucking done with this episode. No worries, I don't mean it as a sign of a relief. More like I'm just so fucking psyched and excited about this episode. And also, this might end up being a very long ass episode or even a short one. I mean, who knows? Anyways, the 12th tip I would like to share with you guys is to start focusing on the moment. So with this tip, when you're worrying fucking too much about what others think of you, then you actually tend to miss out a very important moment, what's happening at this very moment. On the contrary, when you stay laser focused on the present moment, you are more likely to tend to worry about what will come later, including judgment. So please accept yourself for who you are and always be present at the moment. Never miss out. This is it. Coming into the 13th tip I would like to share with you guys is to find a role model. This is by far one of the tips that I always utilize as an entrepreneur, and this is also one of my favorite ones as well. To me, my role model has been always my grandfather, and you know what? My grandfather was a fucking amazing person to me when I was growing up as a kid in the Philippines. He has taught me so many valuable things about life, and as a matter of fact, he has always stressed so much to me about happiness and especially following what I am truly passionate about. And this is why I truly respected him, not just because he's my grandfather, but also because he's the one who inspired me on taking the path of entrepreneurship in the first place. My insight for this is to basically look for someone who you highly admire so much that person will help you dispel your lack of confidence and especially envision your best success in the future. Finding your role model doesn't have to be your family members. It could be literally anyone. Like literally anyone. It could be your best friend from who you grow up with, your teacher or professor, or as a matter of fact, it could be a very famous entrepreneur like Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, or anyone else. Doesn't matter. And they're actually one of my favorite role models as well. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the final tip of this amazing episode? If you are, then fuck yeah. The last tip I would love to fucking share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is that life is just too fucking short. You only live once. Hashtag YOLO. The bottom line is that you only have one fucking life. Not two, not three, but one. You should already know that by now. I mean, do you really want to spend and waste your time fucking worrying what others think of you? I mean, do you? Just think about that for a minute or so. Do you really want to live a life where others tell you who you are and what you want in life? You go ahead and fucking decide that. To me, that would be a straight up hell fucking no. Straight facts, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the 14 helpful tips you can use in order for you to stop worrying what others think of you all the time. Before I wrap up this episode, here are the following crucial points I would like to point out. In order for you to truly stop worrying what others people think of you, you must make a huge fucking effort to let go what other people think of you. It's an important skill that needs to be practiced, like meditating. But once you truly fucking understand how to let go, I can tell you straight up that you will see the world as a whole different perspective. The most important point of this episode is that people will love you, people will fucking hate you. None of it will have anything to do with you. Always make sure to make decisions wisely and always live by those decisions. Start taking responsibility on your own actions. No fucking excuses whatsoever. And I can tell you right now, if you start implementing them, I can assure you that you will gain the self-esteem you truly need and the power to give yourself what you want without blaming anyone for your mistakes. Well, I truly appreciate the time for listening for today's episode. So if you love listening to this podcast, it will mean a world to me if you can support my podcast by donating through the Anchor app or website. It could be any amount starting from 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. Whatever the amount that you donated to me and that you chose, you are helping me creating more amazing and inspirational content for this podcast. And please don't forget to rate and review my podcast on iTunes and Spotify as well. Or simply leave a voice message on Anchor and I will get back with you guys as soon as possible. And you know what? I'm still trying to learn the curves on the Anchor app, such as this feature right now. And if you seriously love this episode, make sure to share this new episode with everyone you know and spread the word about the hustle, the process, the game. What are your thoughts on this episode, ladies and gentlemen? Do you find this episode inspirational and motivational? If you did, then make sure to share this with everyone you know through social media and make sure to use the hashtag THFPS so that way I can keep track how many of you guys share it. Anyways, for news and updates for the Hustle Factory podcast show, other than that, I'm still in the process of figuring out how to do those interview episodes that I have announced on the first episode for this year. So if you got any suggestions and helpful tips, make sure to get in touch with me, guys. Well, make sure to join me again next month for another new episode of the Hustle Factory podcast show. And next time, I got another amazing episode for you guys to hear and get inspired from. I hope that you guys get inspired, motivated on my podcast. It really does mean a world to me. If you do, make sure to share it to everyone you know and support my podcast as well. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys later.